Are y'all looking for a holographic sight that doesn't so much break the bank? Well, stick around and today we'll take a look at a product. Hey everybody, welcome back to Raph's Reviews. I am Raph, and on this channel I say don't spend your hard-earned money on something that may not fit your needs. Let me try it out for you first, help you decide whether or not it's something that you want to buy. Today's video is not sponsored. I purchased this on my own and decided to make a review for you. So today we're going to take a look at the Aimoptic, the UH1 Gen 2 along with the G33 magnifier. So this is how they come shipped. It does ship from China, so it does take a while to get to you. But let's go ahead and see what we got going on. So this is supposed to be the equivalent to an EOTech, and the EOTech for this kind of a combo is about $1,200. For this one I spent $206, so we'll see if it's worth it. So inside the box you have the holographic laser itself, a battery for it. Now they have the Gen, I think it's the Gen 1, it has a rechargeable battery inside with a cable for it. So just as usual with these knockoff type products, we have an amazing piece of informational material here and a lens cloth. Alright, so taking the sight out itself. Alright, so taking a look at the sight itself, this would be the front facing towards the front of your weapon side. You've got some up and down elevation knobs or adjustments, your battery cover, latch for it to sit on the Picatinny rail system, and looks like some brightness knobs and the night vision knob. So obviously first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and slap the battery in here. So the battery cover has a little flip out tab, and that cap does have what we would call in the military a dummy cord to make sure that you don't lose it when you're taking it on and off. Okay, so again, like I said, this is the UH1 Gen 2. Like I said, this was the combo pack, so it comes with the G33 magnifier for that sight. So inside there you get a mounting plate, the magnifier itself, a plate if you want to have it raised, and again, one of those very thorough one-page instruction manuals, and it also has a lens cloth. Alright, so let's take a look. So first thing I'll say outside the box, now I haven't dealt with a lot of holographic sights. When I was in the military, my weapons were a 9mm and a 240, so we didn't use holographic sights on those, but they feel pretty beefy. It's definitely good material. It's good solid material, I will say that, but let's see what kind of weight we got on here. Okay, so the sight itself is 13.1 ounces, so just shy of a pound. And then the magnifier itself is 10.8 ounces, so obviously together we've got about 1.5 pounds. 1.5 pounds doesn't sound like much, but if you're slinging that thing around for a while, it could get heavy kind of quick. Alright, so let's talk about install. Okay, step one, as usual, we'll keep our weapon in a safe direction and make sure that we are clear. Alright, we are. Okay, so it just mounts on a rail system that you already have. My M4 does have a rail system at the top. with flip-up sights. So hopefully with both of these together, I'm able to keep that flip-up sight there. Always a good backup. I mean, we're talking about things that run on batteries. So if your batteries were to go kaput, it's definitely something that you would want to have. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put the magnifier on first. So some other things about the magnifier, it also does have adjustment knobs here for up and down, and on the side for right to left, and also you can focus, it has a focus ring on the back. So with, and excuse me if my weapon flags at you here. All right, so with these, it has a little locking tab here, so we'll push down on that and kick up the latch so that way we can mount it. I'm going to mount the magnifier first just so I can try to get it right up against the pop-up sight. So all we're going to do is kind of clip in one side and flip it down on the track. So if you've never put any accessories on your rails, there's usually this little piece that runs through. It's kind of like a bolt, we'll say. And then of course you have your notches on your rail system. So you're just going to make sure those pop into a notch. It's sitting flush, and then we're just going to close down that lever. All right, and once you do, you'll get a nice little clip to know that it's in place. So with these magnifiers, this is if you were using it, and then if you're not, it just kind of flips off to the side, so that way you can shoot or utilize your pop-up sight still. Okay, now for the sight itself, it does have an adjustment screw here in case if it's too tight for your Pickney reel system. It's just the same as the magnifier. There's a little tab here. The difference is on this tab, it looks like we may have to... Okay, so the you don't need the tab to open it, but the tab is there for when you go to close it down on your rail system. Okay, so just as we did with the magnifier, we will find us where we want it to sit, make sure it's lined up with the rails, and lock her down. Okay, so as I mentioned, there's that adjustment screw. So let me go ahead and grab us a screwdriver. It looks like just a regular flathead screwdriver will work. And we'll just start cranking that bad boy down. All right, there we go, good to go. So that's what it looks like when a system is on. Like I said, you can flip that out at the side. Still utilize our pop-up sights to shoot through. Let me go ahead and grab a GoPro and see if we can't see what the sight looks like in action. Okay, before we flip over to the view with the GoPro, like I said, we've got our plus minus buttons here that actually turns the sight on. I think you can kind of see that. Try to line it up for you here. You can kind of see what that looks like, along with the brightness levels, and then the night vision button. So I have mounted this already before making this video and kind of messed around with it just to see what some of the different buttons do. I think I paid like, I don't know, $15. Let me check. Okay, for the Gen 2 with night vision, it's an additional $30. So they say a sucker's born every minute. I think I was born every minute of the day. So I purchased the night vision version. It didn't say much on there about it, thinking that, hey, even for a cheap scope, if it gives me the ability to see better at night, that would be great. All it does is it dims the brightness of your laser. So do not be like me and spend the extra money for the night vision. You can tone down the brightness of that laser with the button. So you don't need to get that version. All right, let's go ahead and get the GoPro running and see if we can't get a good visual for y'all on what the scope looks like.
Okay, so this is at max brightness. We can dim it down a few different levels here. And then, like I said, here's that wonderful night vision mode. Literally, it just dims it down. So if you were using night vision goggles, it would be easier for you to utilize. Okay, so that is just the holographic sight. Now let's go ahead and flip over the magnifier. And this might be difficult to show. There we go. Alright, so that's how much magnification you get. So let me try to step back a little bit. Here's the view without the magnifier. Okay, and that's what it looks like with the magnifier.
Okay, so hopefully, hopefully you're able to kind of see what the sight picture looks like. Initial thoughts. As of right this moment, I haven't gone to the range yet. I am going to go to the range today. Check it all out. I still owe you guys my personal breakdown of the folding stock after taking it to the range. So I'm going to go to the range today, and I will give an update prior to releasing this video, so that way we can talk about sighting it in, zeroing, how easy or difficult it was. But initial thoughts, I mean, I like it. Like I said, it doesn't feel cheaply made. I mean, that's solid stuff. One complaint that I have, like I mentioned earlier, don't spend the money for the night vision button. You can literally dim down the sight to the same level as hitting that NV button. I would just call it like a quick access to go from brightest to lightest setting. So to me, it's not worth that additional 30 bucks for the combo. The other thing that I'm not a big fan of is when this is on the highest setting, that laser does cast a glare against the shield, so it can be a little bit of an annoyance, especially if you flip the magnifier over while your laser is at its fullest setting. It's very distracting. The other thing is, I wish you could change what your red dot looked like. It's just a red dot with a circle around it. I know that holographic sights are designed so you can shoot with both eyes open to help you, have a better field of view, peripheral vision. But I feel like that much stuff in the reticle gets a little bit, I don't want to say overwhelming, but it blocks my field of view for me personally. So I wish I could change it to just a dot. I would definitely prefer that. But yeah, barring any issues at the range with zeroing it in and keeping it zeroed, it's a good way to save $1,000. But that, again, that is just me personally, and please, by all means, everybody go ahead and drop in the comments, give your 2 cents on it. I know a lot of people out there will say don't skimp on sights. I have, like I said, flip-up iron sights on my M4, and I'm perfectly fine with iron sights. So it's not a huge deal for me to make sure that I spend top of the line on a holographic sight. Because I'm not competition shooting or anything like that. I go to the range just to have a good time. And then, keep the weapon for obvious purposes, but I'm not hunting with it. I'm not competition shooting with it or anything like that. So it's not so important to me to have top of the line optics. And you're talking about $1,000 difference between what this is supposed to be a knockoff of, being the EOTech. So yeah, stick around, and I will give you my comments after the range. Okay, so went to the range yesterday. Super easy to zero in this sight. I was doing 3-round bursts to zero it in. I think it took me about 9 rounds at 50 feet to get it zeroed in. After that, I put about 120 rounds, and it stayed true where it was zeroed out at. So there wasn't any creep or anything like that of the laser. Again, wish it could have just been a dot instead of the whole circle, because that 50 feet, that circle with the target that I was using pretty much covered up the whole target, so that made it a little bit difficult. and also just not used to shooting with a holographic sight. It had its own personal adjustments I had to do for that to get used to that. Now, when it comes to the G33, the magnifier, remember I told you guys there's this little block that came in there. I thought it was for clearance issues, if it was, you know, sitting too low or couldn't quite lock in at that certain level. Well, for me, with my sight picture, I couldn't crank it low enough, so I put the target out at 75 feet, flipped down the magnifier, and I was shooting probably about 3 inches high, and I couldn't get it to go any lower. I cranked it all the way down for the sight picture alignment, and it was still shooting high. So I'm going to install this. I assume that will fix the problem. I'm going to toss this on there, go back to the range at some point in time this week, and see if that works. I'll pin the results to that at the top of the comments, so that way you can see if that adjusted it. But yeah, overall it worked fine. If you're watching this video after the collapsible, or excuse me, the folding buttstock adapter, no issues with the cycling of the firearm. Some people had commented that after taking it to the range, their buttstock got really loose. Mine didn't get any looser than it already was, so I don't know if maybe people started without play in their buttstock, and then after going to the range, that play began. So I don't know, but there was no issues with functionality of my AR-15 with that on there. So, but overall thoughts, yeah, it worked great. I didn't see any issues with it. Again, like I said, I don't have any experience with holographic sights, so I can't tell you if it was any better or any worse than other ones. But for me, it worked just fine. Ended up zeroing in the holographic sight at 25 feet. So if it was close quarters use, like I said, I have my iron sights on there, so anything beyond that, I would be using my iron sights, just because I feel much more confident and comfortable with iron sights than I do that holographic sight. All right, and that's going to wrap up this review. Thanks so much for sticking around at the end. If you found this review helpful or you enjoy this kind of content, please hit that thumbs up button so that way other people across YouTube can see it. If you like these kind of reviews or reviews of somebody who just gives you their honest opinion on something that's unbiased, subscribe to the channel so that way you see more of it. While I was at the gun range yesterday, you know, I wouldn't want to upset my wife and bring home a new gun, so I actually bought an upper and lower receiver because I plan on trying to build my own AR-15, and we'll put that stuff, we'll review the components as I'm purchasing it and show the build of that AR-15. So it'll be a kind of fun, neat little project to do, and love to take you guys on that journey. So if there was any questions that I didn't answer during this review, again, please put that down in the comment section and I'll answer it to the best of my ability. Even if twist my arm, it makes me have to go back to the range to test something, I'll take the sacrifice and do that just for you. But if you have any other items that you want to see reviewed, please put that in the comment section too. I'll reach out to the companies and try to get a review done for it. If you do have something that you want to review, please put down there if there's something specific that you want reviewed about it so I can make sure I include that in the video. Other than that, thanks so much. Hope you guys have a great one. Have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, whatever it is that you celebrate. We'll see you next time. Bye.